signed a decree putting his war-torn country on track to leave the anti-landmine Ottawa Convention, according to a document published on his website. This move comes after the Baltic states and Poland announced their intention earlier in March to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention. To enter into force, the decision still must be ratified by the Ukrainian parliament and notified to the United Nations. Ukraine's foreign ministry has said in a statement that Ukraine is prioritizing the security of its citizens and the defense of the state. The treaty bans signatories from acquiring, producing, stockpiling, or using anti-personnel mines, which are designed to be buried or hidden on the ground. They often leave victims mutilated if they are not immediately killed, and aid groups denounce the long-term risk of unexploded mines for civilians. More than 160 countries and territories are signatories to the Ottawa Convention, though neither the United States nor Russia have joined in. Mr. Keith Vaz, former UK Minister, is joining us from London at this point in time. Keith, appreciate you being here. Well, the Ottawa Convention and the Ukrainians wanting out, what does that signify? This is obviously, a system which is old. It is also, in a way, defunct at this point in time. But this is obviously, a big deal coming in where Mr. Zelensky is trying to, in fact, put out his wishes as to how the Ottawa Convention is not helping Ukraine at all. They're trying to, in fact, ration whatever they can get.
Good afternoon, Vinette from London. This is deeply disturbing and worrying because at this particular time you would have expected the sides to continue to open a dialogue that had been started initially by President Trump, saying he was going to, as we all know, sort this problem out within a week of becoming president. This has not happened. But this convention is really important. The person who campaigned most for this was the late Princess Diana. I'm sure your archives will show you pictures of Diana, then Princess of Wales, walking through landmine fields where, with her mask on, trying to highlight what it did to people who, innocent people, not just those who are paid up members of the armed forces, innocent people who might, years after a war is finished, be walking through a field and then being blown up and mutilated, either dying or for the rest of their lives suffering. That's why so many countries in the world signed the Ottawa Convention. So many of them did so, apart from, as you correctly say, Russia and the Soviet and the United States. Those two countries haven't signed it, and now in March of this year, as you've just said, Poland, Lithuania, Finland have all decided to come out of the convention. This is very disturbing and very worrying indeed. And I hope there's an opportunity to convince them that this is the wrong thing to do.
Keith, what does this indicate about, the security sentiment in Europe at this point in time? Earlier on, Germany also went on to say that right now their predominant priority in terms of foreign policy is helping Ukraine. They feel that it is the only thing that matters because the landscape of security in Europe is, continuously deteriorating because of this war with Russia.
Well, Zelensky did turn up to the NATO meeting earlier this week. He was in the family photograph along with the President of the United States and all the NATO leaders. But Ukraine is not a member of NATO. So the best way to upset Vladimir Putin and the Russians is to include Zelensky in a photograph of that kind, knowing full well that's one of the key red lines of the Russians. They want to make sure that Ukraine does not become a part of NATO. And to some extent, Vinit, it's irrelevant whether they are or not, because you've just said this, that other European countries, the Germans, the United Kingdom, the French, are all helping Ukraine. So whether it's in NATO or not makes no difference at all. They are still helping them. They're still giving billions of pounds and euros of taxpayers' money in order to help the Ukrainians. I understand why they're doing this, because this is their ally and this is what they have to do. But Is the answer really to provoke the Russians when Donald Trump has made it clear that he wants to make sure that there is peace? After all, hasn't he shown us that it's possible to start and finish a war within 24 hours? Sending off the bombers to bomb Iran, sending them back, and then everything stops. And getting very angry with one of the parties when they continued. So Donald Trump has this special relationship, as we know, with Vladimir Putin. Why are they not meeting to try to solve this problem? Why are innocent people, for years and years to come, this is not something that you just plant underneath a road or in a forest or in a town. This is going to stay there for years and years. And some innocent child, and we're all parents here, just walking along the road, just walking onto a landmine, being blown to bits because of what was left years ago. This is madness. And I hope that we can convince Ukraine to stay in. But the best way to do that is to try and get this peace process moving. Try and get the people around the table. Try and get that summit between the President of the United States, the President of Russia, and the President of Ukraine, because you can't leave them out. Ukraine has to be at the table when the decisions are made. Get that done. If Donald Trump really wants the Nobel Peace Prize, this is the way that he's going to get it. Not for anything he's done between India and Pakistan or in Israel and Iran. This is the defining moment for his presidency. And let's hope he picks it up, because the decision taken by the president of Ukraine is very, very